Thank you, Nicholas. So, yes, I think we can all agree that it is heartbreaking to see how the Olympic Games have caused many downfalls in many hosting countries. It is a terrible reality that no one can ignore. But before we judge the Olympic Games to be the bad guy of the story, let's consider the deeper meaning of them. The Olympics, it's not only an athletic competition, but it is also about the values that this event transmits. It is about celebrating cultural diversity by recognizing the special things about our culture and differences, but at the same time, interacting with different people and fostering a sense of togetherness. It is about bringing people together through sports as they were brothers and sisters. The Olympic Games, true essence, are the representations and messages they convey rather than the money they raise or lose. And today I'm going to be talking precisely about these representations and messages that the Olympic Games bring with them, and why it is important that all of us celebrate those meanings of the competition this summer of 2024. So to begin with, uh, I would like to mention some of the representations we find in the Olympic Games. What do they promote? So the Olympic Games represent unity. If we think, for example, of the precise moment where the event begins, we will be redirected to the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games, where we can start seeing many powerful messages they transmit to the audience. For example, there was this one time where athletes from diverse countries marched together with their respective uniforms while they waved their flags. After that, joined, they all joined together the Olympic spirit, and this is a clearer representation of unity that leaves us with a powerful message of togetherness. The Olympic Games also promote cultural exchange. And to understand how this works, let's think about all the people that go from different parts of the world to one single country for one and only purpose, which are the games. We're talking about spectators, athletes, and officials that bring with them unique cultural practices, traditions, and perspective to the host country. And when that happens, people around there have the opportunity to meet and interact with different cultures, and people can appreciate different traditions, values, and experiences. And the Olympic Games also promote peace in several ways. So, throughout history, countries that participate in that or that have participated in these games have used the Olympics as a platform where nations engage in peaceful competition and interaction. And despite the political differences and conflicts some countries had among themselves at that moment, the countries participating in the games set aside for a moment all their disputes to participate in the games, achieving like that an environment of cooperation and dialogue. And this helped, for example, to ease the tension there was among nations during the Cold War era. And another thing that the Olympics represent and celebrate is the excellence. Since we're talking about the best athletes in the world, pretty much, uh, that compete at the highest level in these games, having to show their skill, dedication, and prowess in the competition. And the Olympic Games, by showing these top tier athletes to billions of people and giving them recognition, show that the event applauds the excellence they achieved. Um, However, we are not only talking about athletic excellence. Um, these athletes are mostly, if not all of them, well educated people, and they do not only compete for the glory of a title, for the glory of an important place in their field or in their game, but also like upholding the spirit of friendly competition, showing respect to opponents, and demonstrating integrity in sports. And again, by displaying this scenario to the audience, the Olympics reflect how this sportsmanship and fair play should look like. Now, when you watch Olympic Games on that TV you have in your living room or in your bathroom or even in your kitchen, you're indeed supporting the event and the games. However, you are not only supporting the superficial aspects of the event, but also the positive attitudes, the representations, the promotions, and the messages that this competition carries with it. That is why my group and I believe that watching this event is important because this event shows the beauty, the the beauty part of human beings. And by watching them, you're not only showing that you're interested in them, but you're also in favor of them. But the best part of watching the Olympic Games are not only supporting the competition itself. Let's think for a moment about the athletes that participate in this contest, for example. As we know, the Olympic Games are one of the most important events in the world, and because of this and how I mentioned previously, the competition inside it is one of the biggest there can exist when it comes to sport tournaments, right? Since participating involves facing the best athletes on the sport, on the sport you play, all of them with the dream of winning the prestigious gold medal or again achieving a very important a very important position in the tournament. Most athletes begin their journey at very young ages. Some of them begin when they are children, and some of them when they are teenagers. And they dedicate countless years of their lives training specifically for the Olympic Games. In fact, some of them have dedicated their whole career, their whole career to this competition. And this involves sacrifices in terms of personal life, career choices, and financial stability. And when you watch Olympic Games, you're supporting all the athletes you watch in a variety of ways. Athletes benefit a lot when the events they participate are watched by a lot of people because they do not only raise their profile, but also sponsorships might be interested in giving them some type of support like financial support or um, or something similar. So so you sitting on your couch watching them performing the Olympic Games are these athletes' biggest reward because the recognition they get, the more recognition they get, the more it means that all these years of hard training, pain, and dedication and commitment have been worth it. And we believe this is one of the biggest reasons why we all should watch the Olympic Games because when you do so, you recognize and show respect to the athletes. And we think that's the very minimum we should do after everything they have been through. And now you might be asking, what about me? What do I gain from watching this? And trust me, I understand your point. So do not worry, because there are a variety of ways you can gain something from watching this marvelous competition. And one of the major things we can obtain is entertainment. The Olympic Games count with a very big variety of sports and events to watch. The one being held in Paris 2024 specifically will have a total of 32 sports, if I don't remember wrongly, and from which four of them are considered new Olympic sports that again will take place in this competition. These are Olympic skateboarding, Olympic sport climbing, Olympic surfing, and Olympic breakdancing. Moreover, France will be hosting its first ever Summer Paralympic Games in 2024, which include 22 sports and around 500, more than 500 events, according to the official website of the Olympics. So it does not matter if you're a big fan of just one particular sport. The variety is so big that it's very likely that it's very likely to have s- something for everyone. And the best part is that in every single field, athletes will give one of the best performances that you will see in your life, that spectators will see in your life. Because again, we're talking about the best of the best here, and the competitions are for sure going to have a lot of dramatic moments. And now I know that some of you might not be a big fan of sports. And if this is your case, let me explain to you how watching the Olympics may help you as well. For this, I will introduce to you the case of my mother. She doesn't like any sports at all either. And actually, the one she hates the most is soccer, and it's such a coincidence that it's my favorite sport. But well, the things that she finds it like very boring, very meaningless. However, I noticed that sometimes she watches some soccer matches because she told me she gets really inspired by a Peruvian player called Paulo Guerrero, and that's when in that precise moment, I noticed that we often need inspiration in life, and the Olympic Games may help you to find like a role model to get this inspiration from, since their dedication, hard work, perseverance, and their willingness to chase their goals can be very motivating. So whenever you feel you need a source of motivations, the Olympics are a great source. So to conclude our symposium speech, Say talked about the history of the Olympic Games and how they developed throughout time. Nicholas spoke about the positive and negative impacts that the Olympics had in the hosting countries. And I talked about why we should watch the upcoming Olympic Games. As we have seen in this journey, the Olympic Games have a very rich and extensive history. As we have seen from, say, uh, today the competition is what it is because of its evolution in sports, competition, and athletic, excellence over the centuries. And despite this, nothing is perfect in this world. Everything has pros and cons, including these marvelous games, as we have seen from Nicholas's explanations. Uh, However, we should always consider both sides to judge this competition or every competition fairly and objectively. However, we should never forget the real significance of the Olympic Games. This competition again goes beyond sports. It serves as a global platform promoting unity, diversity, uh, and understanding among nations, uh, transcending boundaries and fostering a sense of togetherness. And these values continue to resonate and inspire people worldwide. With that being said, thank you for listening to our speech. See you in 2024.